30 minutes left. Archangel Michael is trying to reach you, and you always hurt God by skip. Don't hurt God by skip. This is not a joke. You will never be the same after knowing what this person has confessed about you quickly. Archangel Michael says your name is being called at heaven right now, and the echo is moving through your room like a soft storm. You stand at the edge of a moment that will not repeat itself. 30 minutes remain, and the truth is already on its way to your door. You did not arrive here by chance. Every turn, every delay, every time you scrolled past and tried to forget this feeling has led you back. The clock has decided to speak, and it speaks with a voice that does not lie. This is not a warning born from fear. This is a key placed in your hand by a messenger who knows how often you have been overlooked. This is a turning of pages, the sound of a chapter closing and another beginning. You have been told that skipping is easier. You have been told that silence keeps you safe. But silence has been costing you more than anyone dared to admit. A person you know has carried a heavy secret about you. Their words have been sealed in a letter that is not made of paper, but of memory. Today, those words come out like dawn breaking a dark window. The confession is simple, but its weight is great. It says you were misjudged. It says your name was used to build a lie that never belonged to you. The person could not fight their own shadow any longer. The shadow has grown hungry and has begun to feed on their sleep. The shadow has begun to whisper your name at 3 in the morning like a bell that never stops ringing. Archangel Michael says do not rush into Pag. Breathe the way you would breathe at the edge of the sea. Let the wave come, let it cover your feet, and then let it carry the dirt away. You are not fragile blasts. You are tempered light. You are not a victim of their fear anymore. The confession began the day you decided to grow. Your growth threatened a system of small porters and half-smiles. Your growth made their secrets blow under the skin like ink under a lamp. They told someone that you were unworthy. They used the story you shared in trust and turned it into a weapon. They did it to protect their standing in a room that now feels cold to them. Archangel Michael says heaven has counted your tears without demanding a receipt. Every tear has been logged in a book that never burns. Every tear has made a path through stone where flowers now wait to appear. 30 minutes left is not a threat. 30 minutes left is with hinges that finally loosen. 30 minutes left is the difference between carrying the weight and watching the weight drop to the ground. You will not be the same after this. The same would be too small for you now. The same would be a tight shirt on a growing heart. The confession has names in it, but you do not need to repeat them. The confession has places in it, but you do not need to return there. The confession has motives in it, and those motives crumble in the light like dark sugar in warm water. Here is what happened. Someone you trusted chose to fit in with the wrong table. They smiled at you and then sold your softness for applause that did not last. They said you were careless. They said you were reckless with love. They said you wanted attention more than respect. They never told the room about your quiet sacrifices. They never told the room how you stayed late to help when nobody looked. They never told the room about your courage when your legs were shaking. Their confession begins with jealousy. It grows into fear. It ends with the truth that they feared you would surpass them. Archangel Michael says heaven does not need to punish to make things right. Heaven turns the wheel in a way that no one can resist. Heaven simply exposes the root and lets it meet the sun. Do not harm yourself with thoughts of revenge. Do not go hunting for words that injure. Do not use your tongue to carry a curse you will later try to wash away. Use this hour to gather your power back into your hands. Use this hour to forgive yourself for not seeing sooner. Use this hour to remember the gentle promise that the right people will find you. 30 minutes shrink when you stare at the clock. 30 minutes expand when you decide. Decision is the magic that folds time like paper and shapes it into a boat that carries you over the flood. The person who confessed did not do it out of goodness alone. The ground has been moving under their feet. They feel the chill of truth like winter air under a door. They told another that they lied about you. They admitted they made you look small so they could stand tall on your shoulders. They admitted the gossip was born on a lonely night when they felt ignored. The one who heard the confession is stunned. Their respect for you grows like a fire across dry field. They now see the difference between your heart and a rumor carved from envy. Archangel Michael says the wind around you is not ordinary, it carries the scent of clean beginnings. It carries the sound of locked opening even as you read. You have always been bigger than the stories told about you. Those stories were stitched from pieces of your past, not from the fabric of your purpose. The tailor of those stories had clumsy hands and impatient eyes. Here is the revelation. Your name is about to be cleared without you having to beg. Your path is about to be widened without you having to force any door. Your voice is about to be heard without you having to shout. You did not lose time. You gathered wisdom. You did not lose love. You learned which hearts were true. You did not lose yourself. You discovered the parts no one could name. The confession comes with proof you will not need to chase. A message, a record, a screenshot, a witness with a steady spine. It arrives like lightning and leaves a bright line across the sky of your life. Archangel Michael says you do not need to perform pain to be believed. Your calm will be your loudest answer. Your stillness will be your strongest courtroom. The people who laughed at your expense will grow quiet. The people who doubted you will search for a chair in your room. The people who copied you will forget their scripts. A clock moves. The minute hand learns courage. The second hand learns mercy. Do not mistake this shift for luck. It is justice in soft truth. It is timing that finally matches your preparation. You will watch as doors that were closed for you begin to tilt. You will feel the tension you carry in your shoulders release like rain leaving a roof. You will hear your own name and it will sound clean. Forgiveness is not a gift for the one who hurt you. Forgiveness is a key for your own prison. Forgiveness tells the bars they are no longer needed. Archangel Michael says place your hand over your chest. Feel the steady drum that has refused to stop. The drum has carried you across nights when you thought morning forgot your address. Your kindness has not been a weakness. Your kindness has been a map for the ones who will walk beside you. Your kindness has kept you human when the room tried to turn you into stone. Time continues and the air becomes lighter. The sky above you is not empty. It holds the weight of your next chapter like a roof that does not leak. You will receive a message in a simple way. It may arrive as a call or a letter or a friend who finally states the truth. It will not arrive as noise. It will arrive as clarity. Your reaction decides your healing. Your reaction decides how long you stay in the hallway. Your reaction decides whether you wear the old name or put on the new one. Archangel Michael says choose dignity. Choose peace that does not beg to be seen. Choose the steady flame over the wildfire. The person who confessed is not your enemy anymore. Their own choices have become their teacher. Their own words have become their mirror. You will not return to old circles to prove anything. You will not place your heart on a table where it was weighed like fruit. You will not trade your story for a discount in somebody else's market. The old chapter falls away as leaves fall from a tree that has finished with a season. The branches are not ashamed of their emptiness. The branches know new green is already traveling up from the deep. This moment plants a promise. The promise grows roots in minutes, the promise drinks light and begins to rise. You do not have to push the river. You do not have to shout at the wind. You do not have to force a bloom out of a seed that is already awake. Archangel Michael says the path ahead has rooms you have never entered. The rooms carry your name on their doors. The keys are in your pocket and they fit without resistance. You will find messages from your future self in ordinary places. A sign on a wall you walk past every day. A sentence in a book you almost did not open. You will start to feel taller inside your own skin. Not arrogant but seated. Not loud but established. The confession removes a coat of dust from your reputation. The confession clears a fog from your relationships. The confession opens a window in a house that has been sleepy for too long. You are allowed to accept good news without apology. You are allowed to outgrow rooms that feel tight. You are allowed to value your energy like gold. Archangel Michael says preparation meets opportunity in the quiet. Keep your heart clean. Keep your schedule open for what is meant. The ones who truly love you have been waiting for this day. They have watched you carry blame that never belonged to you. They have prayed in their way for this light. You do not need to explain yourself to everyone. You do not need to serve your heart to every table. You do not need to dance for the crowd to be worthy of music. Your next decisions will carry a clear tone. Yes will sound like a bell. No will sound like a gate closing softly. Archangel Michael says you are not late. You are exactly on time for your own life. You are exactly on time for the door that opens today. A person who confessed will start living differently. Their laughter will be quieter. Their conversations will be shorter. You will watch the balance return. You will watch respect come back like a tide that had only gone out to gather strength. You will watch your own eyes in the mirror and see steadiness you have not seen in years. This is the hour to choose your posture. Head high. Shoulders down. Feet grounded. This is the hour to choose your language. Short. Accurate. Gentle. Let the old story fall without catching it. Let the rope of old rumors slip from your hands. Let your future walk in without asking permission. Archangel Michael says your blessings are not fragile. Your blessings are built with a frame that does not bend in wind. Your blessings were timed to arrive after the confession so you could hold them with clean hands. The clock reaches its quiet point. The minute you read this is already holy. The air around you agrees. You have not hurt God by moving slow. You have hurt yourself by believing you were small. It ends here. It ends now. What you lost will not return in the same form. It will return upgraded. It will return with honor. The next room opens. You step forward with calm eyes. You step forward with a heart that refuses to carry stones. Archangel Michael says, keep your light on. The right eyes are finally learning how to see. The right hands are finally learning how to open. This ending is a beginning that does not need a drum roll. It needs only your consent. It needs only your steady yes to yourself. Walk in your truth the way a river walks to the sea. Constant. Patient. Inevitable. Walk without explaining the pace to anyone. You will sleep softer tonight. You will wake with a plan that fits. You will speak with the kind of power that does not shake. Archangel Michael says the confession has done its work. The room has learned the lesson. The next door waits with a light under it. Step through. Own your name. Let your future recognize you. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. You step away from the old ending and into a cleaner beginning. The room is the same, but the air has changed. You can finally hear your own thoughts without the static of their story. Archangel Michael says, keep your movement simple. The next hour rewards patience more than speed. Let grace, not adrenaline, carry you forward. Your phone vibrates once and then goes silent. The screen lights with a name you recognize, one that once held warmth and now feels complicated. You don't answer, yet you allow the truth to settle first. Clarity is a living thing. It arrives like a guest who wipes their feet before entering. It puts everything back where it belongs without raising its voice. The confession has opened a gate, not just between you and them, but between you and yourself. You have access to parts of your courage that were locked behind old loyalty. Archangel Michael says loyalty is not debt. Loyalty is not a lie. Loyalty, when it is real, is mutual breath. You think of the time they smiled with their eyes closed. You think of the time you watered a friendship that never watered you back. You think of the time you apologized for a wound you did not cause. The minute hand moves and you feel lighter. Not because the past is erased, but because the pressure has shifted off your chest. Your shoulders drop back into their natural place. A calm decision forms. You will address what needs to be addressed without theater. You will make space without making war. Archangel Michael says this is how empires of peace are built. One boundary at a time. One honest word at a time. You look at the door and remember you do not have to rush through it. You can open it halfway, speak your truth, and keep your home clean. You can decline an invitation without hating the hosts. Your energy is valuable currency. Spend it intentionally. Invest it where returns look like health. The one who heard the confession is waiting too. They have a message prepared that respects your time. They want to tell you the exact words they heard and the exact breath that follow. Archangel Michael says brace for relief. Relief can feel strange when you've worn tension like a second skin. Let your nervous system learn a slower rhythm. You sit at the edge of your bed and hold your own hands. The softness in that posture is not weakness. It is a homecoming. Memories arrive, but this time they bring lessons instead of shame. You see where you stayed one conversation too long. You see where you gave the benefit of the doubt to a pattern, not a person. The minutes continue to fall away like leaves. You are not chasing them anymore. You are receiving them. Archangel Michael says reintroduce yourself to yourself. Say your true name inside your chest. Notice how solid it sounds when no one is interrupting. There is a message you need to send. Not an essay, not a storm. 3 lines will do, and each line will stand up straight. You write, I know what you confessed. I'm choosing peace, distance, and closure. Please honor this boundary. You read it once and realize it contains no anger. It contains only intention. Archangel Michael says that tone is power. That tone is a door that closes quietly and locks from the inside. The tone is how you keep the temperature of your life stable. You do not need to block everyone. You do not need to announce anything to a crowd. You will simply become harder to reach for those who refuse to rise. The person who carried your name into the wrong rooms will feel the temperature drop. They'll reach for old tricks, but the strings they used to pull are not attached to you anymore. Their show ends where your boundary begins. Archangel Michael says prepare for kindness to return. When you remove the siphons, your light stops leaking. Warmth begins to pool around your feet again. A small plan forms in your mind, and it is beautiful. You will give the next 30 days to rebuilding your inner house, not with perfection, but with presence. Day 1, you'll empty one drawer of old versions of you. Day 2, you'll practice 10 minutes of breath that belongs only to you. Day 3, you'll choose one nourishing habit and treat it like a sacred appointment. Archangel Michael says consistency is a quiet revolution. You do not need loud promises. You need repeatable kindness toward yourself. You think of the rooms that once felt heavy. You will return to them and open the curtains without ceremony. Dust will rise, then settle, and the light will take the old corners back. The truth has a sound and it is gentle. The truth has a temperature and it is warm. The truth has a posture and it stands with open hands. The one who first believed the rumor about you will reconsider. They will feel the mismatch between your presence and the lie. They will correct themselves without requiring your performance. Archangel Michael says vindication that asks nothing from you is the sweetest kind. It lets you remain focused on your journey. It lets others do their own housekeeping. You take a walk in your own life, noticing what is already good. A cup you love. A song that never left. A corner of your room that always tells the truth. Your spirit is not exhausted anymore. It was overworked by defending itself, now it can return to building. Now it can return to weaving days you want to live in. Archangel Michael says there is a door with your next opportunity on the other side. Its handle is calm. Its hinges do not squeak. When they reach out with apologies, you will listen with boundaries. You will not adopt their panic or wear their guilt. You will measure their change by their choices, not their words. Trust will not be rushed, trust will be rebuilt or not on the clean ground of reality. Either outcome will feed your peace. Archangel Michael says, write this where you can see it. My worth is not a debate. Read it every morning until your bones memorize it. Read it every evening until your dreams obey it. You will notice how your body responds to safety. The breath deepens without asking. The jaw softens without permission slips. The next invitations you receive will feel different. They will be light and honest. They will not require you to shrink to fit. Archangel Michael says, say yes to rooms that applaud your growth. Say no to stages that want your pain as entertainment. Say maybe to anything that needs time to reveal its nature. Your reputation begins to travel ahead of you with clean feet, not loud, not demanding, just accurate. Those who are meant for your path will recognize the new steadiness and match it. They will bring their own peace. They will bring their own accountability. Archangel Michael says, honor your story. Not with posts or proofs, but with protective choices. Honor it by refusing to relive what you've already learned. A simple ritual will help. Wash your hands under warm water for 1 full minute. Imagine the residue of old accusations melting away. When you dry them, imagine new work placing itself gently in your palms. You will feel the horizon tilt forward. The world will not change all at once, but your angle toward it will. You will meet the day from higher ground. Archangel Michael says, keep a small list of what you're rebuilding. Trust in yourself. Trust in your timing. Trust in the process that brought this truth to light. Review it when the old echo tries to return. Remind it that the room it used to live in had been repainted and repurposed. You will notice that joy begins to move toward you again, first as a quiet bird on the windowsill. Then as a song in the next room. You do not chase it. You let it perch. You do not grab it. You offer your open palm. Joy prefers homes without sharp furniture. Archangel Michael says, don't speak poorly of yourself even in jokes. Your words are construction workers. They either build a shelter or tear one down. When you revisit the moments you were misunderstood, bring compassion with you. Hold the younger you with steady eyes. Tell them they did the best they could with the mouth they had. The clock used to scare you. Now it collaborates. Each minute is a quiet brick in the floor you're building. Archangel Michael says the apology you truly needed was the one you just gave yourself. I'm sorry I doubted you. You say inwardly, I will do that again. You will organize your spaces not to control life, but to welcome it. A verdale for clear thought. A clear path to the door for clean exits and brave entrances. People who never knew your whole story will see your whole like anyway. Real presence explains more than on paragraphs. Real presence does not argue. Archangel Michael says your grace under pressure hath been noticed. Not by gossipers, but by givers. Not by spectators, but by builders. An invitation arrives that aligns perfectly with your new posture. It asks for your talent, not your tolerance. It asks for your honesty, not your endurance of disrespect. You accept with a steady heart. You show up as yourself without armor, you deliver what only you can deliver, and you leave with energy still in your pocket. Archangel Michael says that is the new pattern. Give from overflow, not from survival. Speak from center, not from defense. Rest before you are empty, not after. The confession becomes a landmark, not a prison. When you pass it in memory, you nod without stopping. It marks the place where the road turned toward the sun. You check the mirror and recognize yourself again. Not the version trained by criticism, but the one raised by grace. Not the one hungry for permission, but the one fluent in self-acceptance. Archangel Michael says cherish your new quiet. Protect it the way you protect a healing wound. Let it close clean so the scar is thin. When people ask what changed, you will say, truth came, and I listened. When they ask what you did next, you will say, I chose peace, and it stayed. That will be enough. You won't rehearse arguments in your head anymore. You won't craft speeches for rooms you're not entering. You will use that energy to build a life that fits. Archangel Michael says the right people do not need you smaller, they do not fear your growth. They plant gardens next to yours and celebrate every bloom. Your calendar begins to reflect your healing. Fewer apologies for things that weren't your fault. More commitments that match your values. You start sleeping at the speed of trust, you wake with an appetite for the day. The future starts feeling like weather and starts feeling like architecture. Archangel Michael says keep your heart teachable and your standards high. The combination is rare and powerful. It attracts what can stay and retells what cannot. A gentle gratitude forms for the ordeal that birthed this clarity. You don't romanticize the pain. You acknowledge the wisdom. You are not chasing closure anymore. You're practicing continuity. You're not hunting for validation. You're cultivating evidence. You're not begging for tables. You're building your own. Archangel Michael says the next time Sander looks for a host, it will walk past you like a closed door. The ecosystem around you won't support it anymore. Your air is clean. You return to your work with a new steadiness in your hands, the graft benefits. The vision sharpens. People notice, but you do not perform, you simply keep the promise you made to yourself the moment the truth arrived. To live light. To live accurate. To live kind. Archangel Michael says mark this season with a small token. A bracelet, a stone, a line in a journal. Let it remind you of the day your name and your power were reintroduced. You have become fluent in your own worth. You no longer translate it for those committed to misunderstanding, you save your breath for building. A confession no longer echoes. It integrates. It becomes part of the foundation, not a crack in the wall. It supports you by teaching you where not to step. Archangel Michael says keep moving. Gentle pace. Clear eyes. What tried to shrink you has become the very proof that you cannot be. What tried to break you has revealed where you are unbreakable. What tried to silence you has taught you the elegance of quiet power. You are not the same, and that was the point. You are truer, and that is the gift. You are ready, and that is the sign. Archangel Michael says walk on. The road has already agreed to carry you. The light has already agreed to meet you. The silence after the storm feels new. It is not empty. It is fertile. You can almost hear roots settling deeper beneath your life. Archangel Michael says hold the silence like water cupped in your hands. Let it wash the last fragments of accusation away. Let it leave your palms clean for what is next. Your room, unchanged in furniture, has changed in temperature. Corners that once carried whispers now carry light. Even the floorboards seem to agree with your steps. You open a window just enough to let the day enter. A breeze lifts the edge of a page on your table. The page holds a sentence you once wrote to yourself. I deserve rooms that tell the truth. Archangel Michael says the truth is not loud, but it is inexhaustible. It does not tire of being real. It does not tremble when inspected. The person who confessed sits with their own reflection now. They rearrange their excuses and find they no longer fit. They count their alliances and find their hands come up empty. You remember how hard you tried to make them comfortable. You bent your light into shapes that didn't suit your destiny. You carried umbrellas into rooms designed for sun. Archangel Michael says you owe no more acrobatics. Stand as you are and let your shape be final. Those who belong will adjust their gaze. There is a small box at the back of your mind where you kept the version of you that apologized for breathing. You open the box, lift that version out with compassion, and tell them they can rest. The job is finished. You're from birth again. This time it isn't a person. It's an opportunity, something that aligns with your voice. Something that asks for your presence without requesting your pain. Archangel Michael says take it slowly, but take it. Walk in, not with swagger, but with steadiness. Bring the skill the struggle taught you. Leave the struggle at the door. You reply with clarity that surprises you. No over-explaining. No nervous laughter type into text. Just the exact shape of your yes. The minutes are not enemies anymore. They pass like helpful messengers changing shift. Morning hands the day to noon, noon to evening, and each nods to you as they walk by. Archangel Michael says this is the rhythm of repair time. You are no longer spending hours on defense. You are investing hours in design. You sharpen your boundaries the way a carpenter sharpens a pencil, often, lightly, and without drama. If something dulls them, you pause and refine. The line remains clear, and so does your peace. You notice how different meals taste when you are not eating while arguing in your head. A simplest fruit becomes a ceremony. Water feels like a blessing you can hold. Archangel Michael says let ordinary goodness be your medicine. Simple order. Simple gratitude. Simple care. In the quiet, your creativity returns from exile. Ideas knock politely. They do not break the door. They sit with you and offer their plans. You capture one on paper. A project that honors your story without commodifying your wounds. It asks for your honesty, your craft, and your new posture of dignity. You title it with a word that once felt too large and now fits perfectly: restored. Archangel Michael says your work will not be about the one who hurt you. It will be about the one who rose from the hurt. It will be about the architecture of resilience. The confession that shook the room has done its full work. It is no longer a weapon, it is a witness. It stands in the corner like a retired guard, no longer needed at the door. You step outside and the world greets you with small confirmations. A neighbor smiles as if they see the difference. A stray leaf lands at your feet shaped like a heart without trying. Archangel Michael says allow signs to be soft. You do not need fireworks every hour. You need accuracy every day. The person who once believed the worst about you sends a note short, sincere, clear. They admit they misread you. They do not ask for access. They offer amends. You respond with measured kindness. You accept the amends without reopening old doors. You keep your healing whole. Archangel Michael says this is what maturity feels like: respect without re-entanglement. Gratitude without gullibility. Love without losing yourself. You return home to a space that now feels like it belongs to you in a deeper way. You place one fresh flower in a glass. You light a quiet candle for focus. Not for spectacle, there is work to do and you are ready. You start where you are with what you have and who you have become. That is enough. It has always been enough. Archangel Michael says the next 30 days will be shaped by 3 small vows. First, I will speak to myself with honor. Second, I will move at the speed of clarity. Third, I will let peace be my proof. You write them on a card and tape the card to the inside of your closet door. Every morning, you meet them like old friends. Every night, you thank them for protecting your day. The echo of the old story tries once, then twice, to return. You don't wrestle with it. You simply stop feeding it attention and it starves. Archangel Michael says your attention is a currency spended, where dividends look like health, love, and legacy. Don't subsidize what cannot sustain you. Don't finance what will never repay you. You organize a small corner of your life, a shelf, a folder, a playlist. Each item you keep serves the future you now recognize. Each item you release frees a little more light. A friend who always cheered for you invites you to celebrate, not loudly, but sincerely. You accept because joy is not a debt. It is a right. Archangel Michael says receive celebration the way the earth receives rain. No guilt, no explanations, just gratitude and growth. The person who confessed is learning humility one sunrise at a time. You do not monitor their progress. You release them to their lessons and return to your own. You feel the seam between the old world and the new world in your chest. The seam is not a scar. It is a stitch. It holds because you held. Archangel Michael says this is the legacy you are weaving, a life that does not collapse when others are careless, a heart that remembers its worth without needing a witness, a path that shines because you chose truth. You start planning your week with space around every commitment. Breathing room becomes standard, not special. Your calendar looks like a garden not crowded, but cultivated. Archangel Michael says rest is not a reward. It is a requirement. You cannot pour architecture from an empty blueprint. You cannot offer a steady hand if it never stops shaking. A letter arrives this time, a literal one. Inside, there is recognition for work you thought nobody saw. The timing makes you smile. Heaven's schedule is precise. You place the letter somewhere you will see it when old doubts try to negotiate. Not as proof for others, but as a reminder for yourself. Evidence replaces insecurity like sunrise replaces night. Archangel Michael says you are not chasing status. You are stewarding substance. The difference will keep you safe. The difference will keep you sincere. The horizon tilts forward again, inviting you to walk. Your steps are quieter now, but each leaves a clear print. Those who follow will find the path easier because you refuse to vanish. You revisit the moment the confession reached you. Instead of rage, you feel release. Instead of shaking, you feel alignment. Archangel Michael says gratitude is not agreement with what harmed you. Gratitude is reverence for what you became despite it. Hold that gently and keep moving. Doors that once required explanations now open with a nod. Rooms that once measured you now welcome you. The world did not change your agreement with yourself did. You sit at your desk and begin. The page is not blank. It is expectant. You place words that build, choices that honor, and plans that fit. Archangel Michael says this is the harvest after the hailstorm, peace that doesn't ask permission, work that doesn't drain your soul, and love that doesn't borrow against your future. Guard it. Grow it. Give from it. Even comes like a blessing you can touch. You close the window, lower the light, and anchor the day with one firm truth spoken softly. I am done living under other people's versions of me. Archangel Michael says heaven agrees. The earth beneath your feet agrees. Your heartbeat signs the agreement with every steady note. You sleep without rehearsing the past, you dream without bargaining with the future. Morning waits with the next good step, and you are ready to take it. Morning arrives with a quieter sky, the light does not rush your room. It leans in, patient and sure. You meet it with eyes that have learned to stay open without bracing. Archangel Michael says keep choosing small steadiness over grand gestures. The life you are building prefers honest bricks to hurried flags. Let your calm be the sign, not your announcements. You prepare a simple meal and eat without bargaining with your thoughts. Each bite feels like an agreement to remain. Each sip feels like permission to be here fully. The world outside your window carries its usual noise, but it does not enter you. What crosses your threshold now must earn the right. Your peace is not a public park anymore. It is a tended garden. Archangel Michael says the garden thrives when you say no to weeds early. Boundaries are not barricades, they are trellises. They guide growth into something strong and beautiful. You review a message you almost sent last night, long, heavy, detailed. You let it go unsent. Your silence has become eloquent enough to cover the distance. Clarity has trained your posture. Your shoulders do not apologize for existing, your breath does not ask permission to be deep. Archangel Michael says the apology you never received can no longer invoice your joy. Unpaid debts from others are not your ledger to carry. Close the book and open the day. You stack your priorities with simple logic. Health, truth, work that matters, people who show up. Everything else is garnish. You stop mistaking garnish for nourishment. The confession that once struck like thunder is now a steady lamp in a hallway. It lights the way without demanding attention. It reminds you where doors are and which ones stay closed. Archangel Michael says you are learning to bless from a distance. You can wish someone well while stepping back. Kindness does not require proximity. It requires honesty. An invitation arrives that used to tempt you into overextending. You read it twice and feel your body's answer before your mind speaks. Your no is a complete sentence typed with soft hands. You invest the freed hour in something generative. A page in your no grows roots. A sentence you write feels like a door clicking open inside your chest. Archangel Michael says this is the exchange rate of wisdom, one clear no for a field of real yes. Let the economy of your days reward what restores you. Let the market of your energy reject what drains you. Old patterns still knock, but the house you live in has new rules. A no entry without respect. A no entry without reciprocity. You clean a small surface and the rest of the room starts to behave. Orger is contagious when it is kind. You keep going, not with urgency, but with grace that paces itself. Archangel Michael says celebrate progress in teaspoons, not only in oceans. A clear door is a clear morning. A single honest conversation is a season turning. You check on the project name restored. It meets your gaze like a steady friend. You move one part forward by an inch and the inch feels truthful, sustainable, real. The person who confessed is quieter in your mind now. Not a villain, not a hero, just a traveler learning their road. You release the urge to narrate their journey. Archangel Michael says your narration belongs to your own path. Keep it focused. Keep it compassionate. Keep it brief. You realize that vindication has made you less hungry for attention and more available for purpose. You stop counting who noticed, you start counting what you bill. The mirror reflects someone you trust. Not because the world voted, but because you did. Not because there are no scars, but because the scars tell the truth and no longer lead. Archangel Michael says this is what authority feels like when it grows from healing. Quiet spine. Warm eyes. Steady hands. You do not flash it, you carry it. You do not wield it, you live it. A friend asks how you kept from breaking. You think of all the nights you sat with shaking bones and chose gentleness anyway. You answer with a smile and an invitation to sit beside you in the light. You keep a promise to walk outside at sunset. The sky lays down gold like a path. Your steps match it unhurriedly. Archangel Michael says the world is not asking you to outrun your past. It is asking you to walk with your present. Where your feet touch, meaning grows. You pass places that used to hold your breath hostage. They feel smaller now, as if the map has resized itself. Your courage has become the scale by which the city is measured. A message arrives from someone who once misread you. It contains no performance, only accountability. You answer with sincerity and a boundary, both intact. Archangel Michael says this is the new equilibrium. Mercy with measurements, love with limits, presence with self-respect. Nothing spills. Nothing starves. You structure tomorrow to match who you are today. Fewer detours. More direct lines. Intervals of rest you treat like appointments with your future. The project grows another page, then another. Your voice sounds like you again. Not a chorus of expectations, but a single, clear tone. Archangel Michael says the work that heals you will heal others without you forcing it. Let the river flow. Don't bottle it into speeches. Build banks strong enough to guide it. The memory of being misnamed begins to fade. What remains is the skill of staying true. What remains is the dignity of choosing peace over spectacle. You write a small note to your past self. You weren't grammatic. You were drowning. You weren't weak. You were weak. You were too much. You were too contained. You tuck it into the pages of this new season. Archangel Michael says speak to yourself like someone you plan to spend forever with. Patience is not procrastination when it protects your soul. Encouragement is not indulgence when it keeps you moving. A quiet joy begins to hum. It needs no audience. It needs only honesty and a bit of room. You protect that room by saying no to late-night spirals and yes to girly rest. Your mornings thank you. Your ideas arrive early and knock at a door that is already open. Archangel Michael says when peace becomes your default, creativity stops auditioning. It walks in like staff, ready to set the table. You greet it with tools laid out and a heart unhurried. The confession that changed everything is now a mile marker, not a destination. You nod when you pass it. You keep driving. You choose companions who don't fear your clarity. They don't ask you to soften your boundaries to make them comfortable. They bring their own boundaries and meet you as equals. Archangel Michael says alignment is a quiet miracle. It costs less and yields more. It asks for truth and returns time. You rehearse a future that no longer includes defending yourself in rooms you don't belong to. Instead, you picture doors that open because your presence fits the purpose. You picture tables that set a place with your real name. The hours look back at you, satisfied. They were well used, some for work, some for rest, some for love. Nothing good everything, but everything good enough. Archangel Michael says end the day like a craftsman closes a shop. Tools cleaned. Bench cleared. Light turned low. What is unfinished is not a failure. It is a promise to return. You stand at the window again and the night feels like a friend. Not because it is empty, but because it holds you without swallowing you. You belong here, in this exact breath. The story has turned toward you, not away. The wind has changed allegiance. The ground shows up under every step. Archangel Michael says keep living like this, simple, precise, sincere. Let truth be your compass and peace be your pace. The rest will organize around you. You close your eyes and thank the quiet for staying. You thank the inner room for locking itself when needed. You thank the day for being enough. Tomorrow will arrive with its own weather, its own chores, its own surprises. You will meet it with a practiced grace. You will meet it with a name that finally fits. Morning stretches into a clear, generous afternoon. The light in your room holds steady like a promise kept. You move through your tasks with a pace that respects your heart. Archangel Michael says choose depth over speed. Let each action finish its sentence before you start the next. Build days that do not interrupt themselves. You write a page, then stand to breathe. You drink water like it is instruction instead of background. You answer messages with the dignity of someone who knows their time is holy. This calm is not an accident. It is the harvest of boundaries planted when the storm tried to return. It is a reward for refusing to rehearse old wars. Archangel Michael says the river ahead is clear because the rocks beneath are honest. You know where the shallow runs and where the current deepens. You move with respect for both. A memory arrives with new softness. The room where they misnamed you no longer has a chair for you. You bless the floor and walk past the door. You glance at your list and smile. It holds exactly what you can carry and nothing more. Your capacity feels aligned instead of stretched. Archangel Michael says this is stewardship. Using what you have with care, not drama. Brightness without burn. Progress without panic. And the quiet. You notice how your intuition speaks now. It does not shout. It hums. It asks you to check in, not to check out. You reorganize a drawer and find an old trinket, something you kept from a time you were trying to be small. You release it with gratitude. You thank it for what it taught and let it go. Archangel Michael says letting go is an art that keeps your hands free. Empty palms can receive. Benched fists cannot. You send one message that plants a seed for your future. It is clear, brief, and true. It moves without needing to push. When a familiar tension tries to rise, you meet it at the door with breath. B counts in, 4 counts out, shoulders lower. Your body thanks you for the reminder. Archangel Michael says safety is a skill you practice, not a gift you wait for. Your nervous system is learning the choreography of peace. Keep rehearsal gentle and daily. The project restored gains another layer. You add structure where emotion once flooded. You add kindness where critique once lived. You speak to yourself the way a wise mentor would. You name effort. You honor improvement. You release perfection. Archangel Michael says the wind of approval outside is unstable. Build your sails for the wind within. Aim for accuracy, not applause. Evening edges closer with a kind glow. You walk not to escape, but to witness. The city sounds like a story you finally enjoy listening to. A message arrives from someone new. Their words carry respect and a clear opportunity. You feel the clean click of alignment and say yes with ease. Archangel Michael says growth should feel like shoes that fit, not shoes you must suffer to wear. Comfort is not laziness when the work is honest. Ease is not weakness when the path is right. You prepare your space for tomorrow. Tools in their places. Plans in their folders. A quiet candle waiting for focus. You remember the earlier confessions and realize they are now footnotes, not headlines. They inform without defining. They warn without wounding. Archangel Michael says graduates don't return to take the same test. You've passed. Take the certificate and walk to the next room. You set a small boundary around your first hour tomorrow. No scrolling, no noise, no burburgy. Only breath, word, and one gentle task. Sleep leans in early and you welcome it. Your pillow is not a courtroom anymore. Your dreams are not a debate. Archangel Michael says a healed night builds a strong day. Close your eyes like a drawbridge that trusts the moat. Let silence stand guard. Morning returns, clearer than before. You keep the promise to yourself and sit with the page. One sentence opens like a door and the rest of the room follows. You work without bracing. You rest without guilt. You move without over-explaining. Archangel Michael says you are allowed to be both soft and sovereign. Your kindness is not consent to be mishandled. Your openness is not an invitation to invade. The person who confessed crosses your mind like a cloud that does not block the sun. You neither chase nor curse it. You let it pass as weather. Someone asks for a piece of your time. You ask what for. Their answer respects you, and so you schedule without resentment. Archangel Michael says measure requests by clarity, not charm. Charm blurs. Clarity blesses. Choose the light you can see by. At midday, you pause for gratitude that is specific. Not everything, but this breath, this tea, this paragraph that finally came together. Your spirit grows fat on these small feasts. You notice your posture while you speak. Your spine stays kind. Your voice stays even. Archangel Michael says embodiment is your new language of truth. Feet grounded. Jealous. Eyes gentle. Out awake. A different kind of message arrives, an echo of the old story from a distant quarter. You do not run to correct it. You protect your peace and let truth travel at its own pace. You remember how costly it was to chase every shadow. The price tag was your joy. You will not pay it again. Archangel Michael says let the garden answer the rumor, healthy fruit is the best testimony. Standing trees are louder than shouting leaves. You eat well and move your body in a way that feels like affection, not punishment. Health returns as a friend, not a supervisor. You welcome it with consistency, not extremes. You see your reflection and speak a blessing over your day's work. Not grand, not low. Simply thank you and more please. Archangel Michael says the sacred loves simple sentences. Gratitude is a key that fits many doors. Use it often and lightly. The project grows into a you can finally describe. You share a small piece with a trusted friend. Their eyes light with recognition, not flattery. That look feeds you properly. It asks nothing that empties you. It adds courage and costs nothing. Archangel Michael says this is community, mutual lift without weight theft. Hold each other, don't carry each other. Build beside, not on top of. As dusk arrives, you gather your day into your hands and weigh it. It is a heavy it is all. You place it on the shelf of days that change you quietly. You turn out lights, one by one, like closing chapters that no longer need a reading. The dark is tender tonight. It trusts you with rest. Archangel Michael says what tried to make you bitter has made you better rooted. The tree is stronger after the wind. The bark tells the story and the leaves do not apologize for their green. Tomorrow's list is shorter than it used to be and somehow it will build more. You have trimmed the noise and left the signal. You have chosen the work that blesses both you and those you serve. Morning meets you with rain and you receive it as a kind tutor. You slow the steps without losing direction. You learn that softness can move mountains when it is consistent. Archangel Michael says you are a steward of tempo now. Fast when true, slow when wise, still when calm. This is mastery. Someone brings news that would have once detonated your peace. Today, it lands and dissolves. Your equilibrium is no longer negotiable. You send one note of appreciation to a person who quietly held you up. Their reply is a smile in words. Your circle tightens in quality if not in numbers. Archangel Michael says count roots, not branches. Storms respect depth more than display. Build down and you can withstand up. Your work finds its audience without you begging doors to notice. The right rooms hear and invite. The wrong rooms forget, and that is mercy. You end another day with a small ritual. Hands washed, shoulders rolled, chest open. You whisper a promise to remain at this altitude. Your body believes you. Archangel Michael says keep becoming. The road ahead loves the one you're choosing to be. Walk it with the quiet joy of someone finally at home. Weeks pass like well-made chairs, supportive, simple, strong. You sit in each and do the work that fits. You rise with energy left. Opportunities multiply but do not crowd you. You choose with the same clarity that saved you. Yes and no. Stay honest, friends. Archangel Michael says the proof of healing is sustainable goodness. Not fireworks but hearth fire. Not spectacle but shelter. The confession that once shook your bones now sits like a framed lesson on a far wall. You glance at it only when needed. You no longer live under it. You live under sky. You live under a name you trust. You live under the steady hand of choices that honor your worth. Archangel Michael says the message has been delivered and the door is wide. Keep walking in the light you earn. Keep guarding the peace you grew. When the night grows quiet again, you feel gratitude move through you like a calm tide. Nothing dramatic, everything real. You rest in a truth and let the world turn.